This is CBC Here and Now.
People in St. John's are being asked to conserve water.
The City of St. John's is asking all residents, as well as anyone who lives or works in a building connected to the city's water system, to voluntarily reduce their water use.
I'm Abby Cole, and all that story coming up.
We don't know what their whereabouts are right now. We're very afraid for our friends, and we're asking Joanne Thompson to intervene and get our friends home, and also impose a two-way arms embargo with Israel.
What we're doing is on the right side.
The flotilla near Gaza are believed to have been intercepted by Israeli forces.
Heading to the polls for the provincial election next week, but students at the Association of New Canadians Language School are heading to the polls today in a mock election. I'll have more coming up on Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Heather Gillis, filling in for Carolyn Stokes tonight. Stay with us following Here and Now for the 2025 Newfoundland and Labrador's Leaders Debate. That starts at 7 Island time. It's a 90-minute special commercial-free debate between NDP leader Jim Dinn, Liberal leader John Hogan, and PC leader Tony Wakeham. First, though, our top story. Police have ordered people in Southbrook to shelter in place. The RCMP are asking all residents of the community to shelter while they respond to a serious complaint in the community. Police are advising people to lock their doors and stay away from windows. They're also saying that people should only use 911 for emergencies. The RCMP say they will provide an update when more information becomes available. And the province's capital city is asking residents to conserve water. City officials in St. John's say the water supply is low due to less than usual rainfall. The city hopes that people are more mindful with water use, and that will help things return to normal. The CBC's Abby Cole has that story.
Here at Windsor Lake, water levels are getting low. The City of St. John says there hasn't been a lot of rain, and now they're asking residents to reduce water consumption.
The City of St. John's is asking all residents, as well as anyone who lives or works in a building connected to the city's water system, to voluntarily reduce their water use.
Deputy City Manager Lynn-Ann Windsor says water levels are similar to the last time the city had a water ban in July 2009. But because the city usually gets a lot of rain this time of year, it's not a state of emergency yet.
I certainly don't want to jinx us either, but that's not where we are today, right? It's not a state of emergency.
For now, the city recommends that residents take shorter showers, turn off the tap when they brush their teeth, run the dishwasher and washing machine only when it's full, and fix any leaks that may be around the house.
We need to be proactive. We need to let everybody know that the water levels are low, and we're hoping for rain. And I've lived in Newfoundland a long time. I've never seen a fall where we didn't get any rain. So let's hope for the rain, and then the pond should start to rebound, and we should be good.
So people won't need to go to the store yet to stock up on water bottles.
No, I never recommend to buy bottled water. The water that comes out of your tap is the best you can get, to be honest.
St. John's isn't alone, and it's just another town on the list of places experiencing a water shortage, like Torbay and Hughesbrook. Abby Cole, CBC News, St. John's.
Still with news from the City of St. John's, it is Election Day. Polls are open for about another 2 hours. Election Day was postponed by a week because the postal strike disrupted the return of some ballots. The city's chief electoral officer says they're expecting a lot of people to turn out and vote in person.
In terms of return vote by mail kits that we received from the mail or from our drop-ins, we have about 19,400 received kits. So that is approximately, forgive my math, about 62% of where we were this time in 2021, so right before Election Day.
And what do those numbers say to you?
Well, it says to me that we aren't quite matching the votes that we had in 2021 at this stage. But, I mean, we have been dealing with a lot of election information and the strike, so that may have dampened how many people's votes we received. But I expect and I'm very hopeful that we'll see a large voter turnout in person.
Still with politics of the provincial variety now. The Progressive Conservatives released their full election platform this afternoon ahead of tonight's leaders' debate. It includes nearly $300 million in new spending. The PCs are promising tax cuts, free access to nurse practitioners, new MRI machines, and funding for 46 new police officers. The party says it will redirect more than $250 million in current spending in order to pay for all of those promises. The PCs say that they'll find savings by eliminating travel nurses and ending contributions to the province's future fund. The platform does not lay out a plan for eliminating the province's deficit spending or tackling a net debt of roughly $20 billion. And about an hour ago, the Liberals also released their platform for next week's election. It contains less new spending than the PC's, with $130 million in extra costs for their promises. The party says that they'll pay for new initiatives with money coming from a new power agreement with Quebec. More than half of the cost of their promises come from a pledge to drop the provincial part of the HST on electricity bills. The Liberals say they'll also reallocate money from existing budgets. Meanwhile, the NDP released its platform last month. And with less than a week until Election Day in this province, more than 25,000 voters have already cast a ballot at advanced polls. The advanced polls were opened yesterday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., that's Island time, in all 40 electoral districts. Harbour Grace, Portagrave saw the highest turnout with more than 1,300 electors voting Tuesday. The districts of Ferryland, Conception Bay East Bell Island, and Topsail Paradise each saw about 1,000 people vote early. Turnout at advanced polls during the 2021 provincial general election, that was during the COVID-19 pandemic, well, that saw higher turnout. In that election, 33,000 votes were cast at advanced polls. Our Radio Canada colleagues stopped by one advanced poll in St. John's to talk to voters. Here's what they had to say.
Can you tell me why you're voting early?
Because it's more convenient for us. We're elderly, so we no crowds, and we can, as you can see, the parking lot is not full here.
Why were you voting early today?
Well, one, because I can, and number two, because I thought there would be a much smaller lineup.
Was there, a big issue in this election that kind of guided your choice?
I think the MOU was the big one. And yet, we only got what we got. There was no extra information that came from either party, secondarily. So I guess we just had to go with what we thought was right, which is what I did.
My decision was difficult, actually, because there are great candidates, really great candidates, and you have to decide whether you're voting for the person or the party.
Well, between the municipal elections, next week's provincial election, and last April's federal election, it's been a big and busy year for politics. And newcomers who might not be familiar with Canada's democratic process, well, for them, the Association for New Canadians is giving them some practice exercising their democratic right. The CBC's Jenna Head reports.
People across Newfoundland and Labrador will head to the polls for the provincial election next week, but here at the Association of New Canadians, their language school students are heading to the polls today for a mock election.
They get to learn how democracy works in Canada. At the same time, they learn English, they learn the vocabulary, and they all learn how to register, read the ballots, and make informed choices.
For some students, it's their first time voting.
It's very beautiful because this is my first time voting this type of democracy.
First time in my whole life voting.
Wow. And how long have you been in Canada?
About 3 months.
The experience of ticking that ballot is much different than what some have experienced back home.
I'm just impressed how is people are freely voting. When I compare my country, where I'm coming from, people, they can't express themselves.
I like this because everything is organized, everything is preparing.
Grateful for the experience, the students are also in tune with some of the province's election issues that affect them.
Healthcare and housing. We have big problem in Newfoundland, Labrador about the housing.
I have one son, and of course I want to be a less tax, because I am not working and I don't have a job, and that is hard for me to pay tax for everything.
We need doctors, so we need healthcare, we need dental care, we need vision care, and we need to lower the taxes.
But nothing compares, the students say, to knowing that you're living where there's freedom.
I think it is a very wonderful life here because I can voting freely and talking freely and see your face. I think it's wonderful.
The province will head to the polls for the official election on October 14th. Jenna Head, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, protesters gathered at Federal Fisheries Minister Joanne Thompson's office in St. John's this morning. This is after 3 local activists were detained en route to Gaza. The trio were on board a humanitarian ship when it was boarded by Israeli forces early this morning. Now, fellow activists are demanding that the federal government get involved. The CBC's Zach Gowdy has more.
Right now, obviously, people are aware that some Newfoundlanders, our friends, have been detained, and we don't know what their whereabouts are right now. We're very afraid for our friends.
Protesters gathered in front of Federal Minister Joanne Thompson's office on Wednesday morning, hours after 3 pro-Palestinian activists from St. John's were intercepted en route to Gaza. Devaney Ellis, Sadie Meese, and Nikita Stapleton are believed to have been detained by Israel, along with others who were on board a ship called the Conscience, part of a flotilla attempting to bring doctors and journalists into Gaza, where Israel is imposing a naval blockade. Just 1 week earlier, a larger naval convoy called the Global Samud Flotilla was intercepted by Israel. It was carrying more than 400 activists, including Greta Thunberg. All on board were arrested and deported. The 3 activists from St. John's told CBC News they watched it happen, knowing their ship would likely be next.
Something that was anticipated. It was something that was discussed, knowing that the Samud was moving ahead of us, that we would be probably witnessing what happened to them as we were continuing our journey towards Gaza. So yeah, we're definitely concerned by it, but not swayed in what we're doing in any way.
That interview was recorded on October 2nd as the Conscience was en route to Gaza. Today, around 3:30 a.m. Newfoundland time, the vessel was boarded by Israeli forces when it was about 220 kilometers from the Palestinian enclave. In a post on X, Israel's foreign minister said that everyone who was detained is safe and will soon be deported, and said the ship was attempting to breach a legal naval blockade. But the legality of the blockade is the very thing these activists left St. John's to challenge.
What we're doing is on the right side of international law. We have a right to engage in this activity. Palestinians have a right to receive people at their shores. And Israel is acting inappropriately and in violation of international law when they intercept these vessels and they attack these vessels.
Their fellow pro-Palestinian activists in St. John's are now demanding that the federal government get involved to ensure that Devaney Ellis, Sadie Meese, and Nikita Stapleton are returned home as soon as possible. Zach Gowdy, CBC News, St. John's.
And late this afternoon, Federal Fisheries Minister and Member of Parliament for St. John's East, Joanne Thompson, made a post on social media about the 3 detained from this province. It says in part that our government is working tirelessly for their safety, quick release, and access to consular services. Thompson says she shares concerns of Newfoundlanders and Labradorians for their safety and remains in active contact with Global Affairs Canada to ensure the well-being of all Canadians. Moving on now, Newfoundland and Labrador's debt is forecasted to be more than $19 billion by the end of this year. CBC's Chrissy Holmes asked investment advisor Larry Short why it's not a bigger election issue.
Well, the politicians certainly don't want to bring it up. That's not anything that's going to win any votes. The voters, I think, are mentally exhausted about it because it seems to be a litany that continues on year after year, and we hear about it every single budget that is produced, with a few exceptions when, by accident or by the whims of the oil sector, that we suddenly end up with a surplus. But for the most part, it's not an issue because neither of the parties differ on their approach to how to deal with it. They don't want to raise it because it's not, they don't want to challenge the other party because there's no difference between any of the parties as to how they would handle the deficit.
So here's what we've gathered from talking to local residents.
I spoke with a renter who's facing eviction this fall.
It is not for the weak of stomachs. What does it mean for you to be able to give that advice and to know that you've helped? Don't look down.
If this is something that you didn't know about, let me tell you.
Heather Gillis, CBC News, Happy Valley Goose Bay.
St. John's.
Corner Brook.
Shaji, Inuk First Nation.
Grand Falls, Windsor.
New West Valley, Newfoundland and Labrador.
The provincial election is less than a week away, but tonight the leaders of the three major political parties in this province are going to face off. They're going to go head to head to head, and that's going to happen right here in our CBC studios in St. John's, and it's all for the 2025 Newfoundland and Labrador Leaders Debate. Our very own Here and Now host, Carolyn Stokes, is going to be moderating the debate tonight. So, Carolyn, what can you tell us about the debate? How is it all going to work?
Well, Heather, it is going to begin immediately after Here and Now. It's going to be live, 90 minutes, commercial free. And as you can see, we have just transformed the Here and Now studio. We're going to have the three leaders right here. And we've also invited a team of local journalists to join us for this debate tonight. So in this section, we're going to have Ben Cleary from NTV, Cameron Kilfoy from The Telegram, and Russell Bowers from VOCM. So it's been a real group effort to come together to think of the topics and the questions to ask the leaders that hopefully will be the questions that matter most to voters.
Yeah, absolutely. And about those questions, what kind of questions will we be putting to the leaders of the three major parties?
Well, we have been, of course, brainstorming on this. We don't want to give anything away, but, you know, Heather, you can imagine there are so many issues facing this province. So we're trying to hit on a bunch of them. We'll have time for about 12 questions or so. So we've been working on that. And of course, this is a really high stakes election. This is going to be a high stakes debate for the leaders because, as you mentioned, it's only 6 days until Election Day. So this is going to be really the final pitch for the leaders to the voters of this province. And yeah, and of course we have Thanksgiving Day coming up this weekend. A lot of people traveling home. They're going to be sitting around the dining room table over turkey, most likely talking politics. So the things that are going to be said here tonight will probably be talked about as well this weekend. And we're expecting a lot of eyeballs on this because we're not only airing it on CBC, but NTV and VO also taking part in this. So yeah, a lot of eyeballs on this tonight, hopefully.
Hopefully, I can't wait to see it. And of course, this is the first and only televised debate of the election so far, happening 6 days before the election. The pressure's on for the leaders now. How do you think they're feeling right now?
I would say that they have been prepping. Yeah, there are so many topics and issues to cover. This is also a really high stakes election for the province because, as we saw or we'll see on Here and Now tonight, Rob Antle has a fabulous story about the province's dire fiscal situation. So whoever wins this election, they're going to have to take that on. That's a really big issue. And of course, whoever wins the election, we have the Churchill Falls MOU. We'll have to decide which direction that goes into. It's a very controversial situation there. Plus healthcare and the economy and cost of living, affordability. There are so many things facing the province. So this is quite a consequential election. So we're really hoping people will tune in and hopefully we can help people decide who to vote for.
And Carolyn, of course, this sounds so interesting. Where can people catch it tonight?
It's going to be broadcast because we're partnering with the other media. It's going to be on CBC. We're going to have it on CBC TV, CBC Radio. It's going to be on our streaming channel, YouTube. Also, NTV is going to be airing it as well as VOCM on radio. So lots of ways to watch the leaders debate.
Wonderful. Carolyn, thank you so much for breaking it all down.
Thank you.
And keeping with the debate, the leaders are here. They're in the building. And we are going to bring you, as we bring you our news, of course, from the newsroom, we're getting ready for them to face off in our Here and Now studio. Supporters flooded our parking lot to cheer on their leaders ahead of the debate. It is the only debate with all three party leaders for the 2025 election. So stay tuned. That's live tonight at 7 o'clock Island time, of course, right after Here and Now. Ashley's here now with a look at our weather, and it was such a warm day today. It was another beautiful day yesterday. Ashley, what can you tell us about those temperatures?
Yeah, it was record-breaking yesterday for some areas. Take a look at some of these numbers from Badger, Gander, Terra Nova, Winterland, and St. Anthony, all breaking your October records, your all-time records for the month. Most of those, fairly dramatically. In fact, some cases over a degree. So we're not so warm today, but we are certainly still seeing that southerly flow. We've got an area of low pressure and then a cold front, and in behind that cold front, much cooler temperatures, and that is going to slowly work its way further towards the province as we head through the night tonight. But the daytime highs today, somewhere in the upper teens, still cracking that 20-degree mark in St. John's, 21 actually this afternoon. That brings us to 83 days where we've done that so far this year. Now, it does look like potentially tomorrow we could do that again, but after that, it looks like things will solidly cool down. We'll definitely get back into more fall-like weather. Up across Labrador, daytime highs today generally sitting in the single digits, Cartwright double digits, but like I said, as we head through the night tonight, temperatures are going to change. That is still, though, these daytime highs well above where we should be sitting. Labrador in and around there, only a couple of degrees on either side. Taking a look at what is going on, we can really see that cloud cover and shower activity, lots more in behind that, and that is what's going to move in as we head through the night tonight and then continue into tomorrow. And if I zoom out even more to the tropics, we have our latest tropical system. This is Tropical Storm Jerry, currently topping out at winds about 110 kilometers per hour. It looks like we'll see some tropical storm advisories, likely tropical storm conditions rather for the Leeward Islands. But other than that, it is going to strengthen to a Category 1 hurricane, and then it will make its curve. But at this point, looking like we will not see anything from this storm. Now, as we head through tonight, that cold front, that is the main event, really. More shower activity towards the west coast. Periods of rain through the overnight as well. Most of us will see that as we head towards the early morning hours, and we'll note that wind shift up across Labrador. That will drop those temperatures again. Even the potential for some flurries in Lab West as we get to tomorrow morning and really continuing through the day as well. Your overnight lows tonight will hover around -1 in Lab City, otherwise between 1 and 4 degrees for the rest of the Big Land. Across the island, again, with that wind shift for the west coast northern peninsula, your temperatures are going to plummet by the time we get into tomorrow morning. But we're still going to stay somewhere between 10 to 16 for the rest of the island. That's because those southerly winds or southwesterly winds will continue. And that will be the story through tomorrow as well. We'll eventually see some shower activity and periods of rain as we get towards mid-morning for the Avalon. And then things will start to taper off. Taper generally to some showers. Higher elevations on the west coast showing the potential for some snow in the mix there as well. But definitely going to have to keep an eye on that. And then as we head into the afternoon and evening, that's when we'll see those wind shifts, and that's when we will see that drop in temperatures. As far as rainfall amounts go, generally looking the heaviest, potentially 20 to as much as 30 millimeters of much needed rain. That will fall by the time we get into Friday morning. But note these temperatures, single digits for the west coast. Central, again, morning highs around 16 degrees, but they will drop, and we should hit 19, maybe 20 degrees in St. John's. Gusty winds tomorrow, though. That will be the story. And then for Labrador, other than some flurries in Lab West, it should just be showers, maybe even some sunshine for the north coast. I'll have your long-range forecast coming up a little later.
Thanks, Ashley. The provincial election campaign is in the home stretch now. Party leaders have been touring the province, making promises, but they haven't been talking much about Newfoundland and Labrador's fiscal situation. That was the big story of the day more than 4 years ago, coming out of the pandemic, when there were pledges to take swift action and right the ship. The CBC's Rob Antle takes us back to those dire days and what's happened since.
We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
It was the beginning of an international health crisis, with a fiscal crisis brewing closer to home.
We have weathered many a storm together as Newfoundlanders and Labradorians.
It was an economic shock caused by the pandemic, collapsing oil prices, shuttered industries, uncertain demand for exports.
Is the province heading to a bankruptcy? What's going to happen? What can you tell the resident of Newfoundland regarding the fiscal situation?
There is no question that this has had a significant and severe economic impact on Newfoundland and Labrador.
Then Premier Dwight Ball already knew how severe it was. That same day, he wrote a letter to the Prime Minister, pleading for help.
Essentially, the Newfoundland and Labrador government went to the bond market looking to borrow, and they found out that nobody wanted to buy Newfoundland and Labrador government bonds. That means no money to pay the public service, no money to pay healthcare workers in the middle of a pandemic.
Then a last-minute reprieve. The Bank of Canada stepped in, buying provincial bonds. That crisis averted.
So we are indeed in a position to make payroll and will continue to provide the services.
Short-term relief, but recognition there were still long-term problems to be solved.
I, Andrew John Fury, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and her heirs and...
With a new premier taking the helm.
Nice to see you again on this side of the pond. Thanks for inviting me.
Weeks later, a big announcement. Moya Greene, a former CEO of Canada Post and Royal Mail in the UK, would lead the Premier's economic recovery team. Her report, tabled the following May, was blunt in its assessment.
But right now, we're in a very perilous place.
Borrowing year after year after year, as the province spent about 25% more than all the revenue it takes in. Unsustainable, according to the report, a situation that must be urgently addressed.
We can right the ship, but we have to face facts. We are in a time of unprecedented financial challenge of our own making, and it will get worse. The hole will get deeper.
Greene recommended a series of tough measures to get the province back on stable footing, sparking intense public debate, the severity punctuated by the new premier in a televised address.
This report should be the loudest bell to be heard throughout Newfoundland and Labrador. This is the pivotal moment in our collective history. The problem is clearly laid out before us. We are not on a sustainable path.
The Premier noted the Greene Report's conclusions that the problems predated the pandemic and were compounded by Muskrat Falls.
So are we now prepared to do what we know we must do?
4 years later, the answer appears to be no, at least so far. The Greene Report called for action by 2026 or shortly after to get the province's finances back in order, but that remains an elusive goal.
We cannot, must not, and will not allow the deficit and debt to continue to rise and burden this and future generations.
In the 2 years after that 2021 budget speech, there were signs of progress. A big projected deficit became a smaller one. Then a deficit turned into an unexpected surplus, thanks to reassessments of tax revenues from previous years. But after that, a shift. In 2023, a deficit 3 times higher than expected. Last year, the deficit came in at nearly double initial projections. And this year, another sharp rise in red ink, with indications things could get even worse. The Greene Report argued that those deficit figures don't reveal the full picture. Instead, choosing to zero in on the province's total liabilities and total financial exposure. Those numbers were grim.
The total liabilities have ballooned to $47.3 billion.
The equivalent of $215,000 for every household in the province. We decided to crunch the numbers, taking the calculations in the Greene Report and going forward year by year to get an estimate of where we are today. The answer, more than $53 billion.
It does appear, my own projections, as well as those from the Parliamentary Budget Office, suggest that the trajectory of public debt levels is not sustainable in the long term for Newfoundland and Labrador.
Toom says there are two main things within the province's control to reverse course. One, ensure government revenue keeps pace with the economy. Two, control the growth in healthcare spending. And then there is Ottawa.
Fairly clear that in the long term, Newfoundland and Labrador can't address its fiscal challenges on its own.
Ottawa could increase health transfers to provinces with older populations, and it could review the equalization program to potentially boost benefits for provinces that depend on resource revenues.
I think it is due for the federal government to take a hard look at those programs, if only because the demographic pressures are mounting. They're not unique to Newfoundland and Labrador.
So could there be another crisis moment, like the one during COVID? Toom says that may be unlikely, but the risks do continue to increase.
It's not a rapidly moving issue, and so it's easy for governments to, in the moment, prioritize other considerations over and above these longer term ones. Yeah, the longer that we wait to address it, the more difficult it is going to be.
The government should have clear policy goals.
There are calls for stronger fiscal governance to help get the province's finances back on track, like limits on spending and balanced budget legislation.
The government or politicians, they may have their own self-interest, so their policies may be myopic, short-sighted, that may not be beneficial to society as a whole.
Chu says it's not just an economic issue, but also a moral one, with our children potentially left paying the price.
And so the tax burden will be passed to the future generation.
For something that may affect future generations, the fiscal situation is not getting a lot of attention from politicians on the campaign trail today. The focus instead on big promises with big price tags.
There will be no cuts to the health budget in Newfoundland and Labrador for any amount of time that I'm Premier of this province.
It is time for a government that will make life more affordable for all of us. And that starts with lower taxes.
New Democratic Party's home plan will cost $150 million a year, a large investment in housing.
So what's the solution? The Liberal leader says it's the pending Churchill Falls Agreement.
Any government, if this deal is signed, if any government runs a deficit in the future, they're not doing a good job as government.
And other priorities for the PCs.
I'm focused on making sure people can balance their budgets. Then I'll focus on balancing ours.
Newfoundland and Labrador has had a tumultuous political history, faced a multitude of challenges, haunted by the specter of past mistakes. There's now an election that could bring new hope and an opportunity, once more, to right the course. Rob Antle, CBC News, St. John's.
It'll likely take a long time before all losses and damages in the area are known.
They want the aquaculture industry to stay where it is.
Residents here who had left while this was happening have been told they can't go back in.
And as we inch closer and closer to the election, we're hearing more about the issues that matter to many voters. The CBC's Adam Walsh asked people who have lived experience with food insecurity and poverty to ask some questions to local candidates. It's a segment we're calling Real Voters, Real Questions. And this time, they're focusing on affordable housing and feeding students in school.
My name is Kayla, and I am a founding member of LEAGUE, the Lived and Living Experience Advisory Group. But my most important role is mom. I am a mom of 4 in rural Newfoundland and know all too well the difficulties of school food, especially for my high schoolers. High schoolers want food too. So my question is, how will your party make sure that all children in our province can access school food? I believe that our children are our future, and a nourished belly means nourished mind.
Well, thank you very much, Kayla, for what you do for the 4 children. I'm a dad of 2 little girls as well, and I think it's really, really incumbent on all of us to make sure the students in our schools get warm food and food in their bellies, because they can't learn without it, outside the fact that it's good for them. We've had significant strides in the school system just in the past year and a half. We've got 22,000 students right now, another 11,000 coming on this September. And hopefully by the end of this year, this school year, we'll have about 40,000 of those children receiving those warm meals every day from school food. NL. So we're going to continue to do that. The question is not lost on me about the grade 10 to 12s. We're working very closely with expansion on this. We're working very closely with the School Lunch Association, which does some fantastic work. They're some of the team leaders in this country at providing this. And we want to take away the stigma associated with this. So it's a pay-what-you-go system. So people don't know what you're paying at any point in this process, or if you're paying at all.
I would like to see 2 meals offered to children in schools, breakfast and dinner, 2 nutritious meals in a school. But we all aware, I'm sure in this room would know that that doesn't look after the impact of poverty at home. That is what the root of what we need to address. I mentioned before about the crisis, and I'll use the 4,000 kindergarten children. To know that according to the University of Toronto, that 1,600 of our 4,000 children conceivably are in food insecure homes. So yes, we need to make sure that they are fed and fed well at school, but we got to make sure that we keep our focus to correct what is catastrophic in Newfoundland and Labrador with that number of children that would be in need or in food insecure homes.
So the party is willing and committed to supporting organizations that are already on the ground doing this work. When we think about the issue of food security, they are organizations that are in those smaller communities that have been doing the work and are not adequately resourced as it is. So continuing to work with those organizations that know the needs of the communities, make sure they have the resources in order to appropriately support them instead of trying to rebuild a wheel when there are people on the ground who know what needs to be done and how effectively to use the money in those communities.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Saunders. I'm a member of La Ligue. How will you support people who are struggling for affordable housing in the province? And would you support rent control policies? Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for the question. When we look at housing, we know that we've got a deficit in our province, most certainly. Our platform would be is that over the following number of years, less than 5, then we're hoping to have 10,000 new homes that would be in our province. And one would say that if we didn't look at modular units, then we'd be mistaken. There are now modular concepts of which that can be implemented and rather quickly. As far as the rent controls, we do have somewhere now a practice where we supplement rent in those high rent areas. And I would think that that needs to be responsive and reflexive of what the rent would be in a particular area and go up according to what the demand would be. So that would be something that certainly would be part of a plan to reduce poverty and housing, which is part of poverty in our province.
So the NDP has already announced within our platform that we are committed to rent control, making sure that people can afford to stay in the homes that they're in, and those who are currently looking to be housed have access to a rent rate that they can afford to be in. And we're committed to increasing the amount of available units within the province, and not just in Newfoundland, but in Labrador as well. We're recognizing that seniors are also struggling with housing, so increasing the amount of senior-specific housing units available to them as well.
I agree with my colleagues here that we need to expand housing. We need to build more houses. The more houses you build, the more costs will come down, the more available stock will be there for individuals to move into. We can expand rental supplements. We've looked at that options. We've done some good work in that in the last couple of years. There needs to be more done in that. We have announced some units in Lab West as an example. Those are areas that we need to start to focus in, areas that are challenging to find housing. We've had proposals out for people to build, but they haven't taken us up on trying to build them because it's costly in those communities to try to build. So we've got to do some new creative ideas on building those stock. But one thing is for sure, we need to expand the stock. There is a deficit there that we need to fill. We've expanded some, but we need to do significantly more, and expansions with Newfoundland Labrador Housing is one of those options to look at.
A wildlife rehabilitation centre in Nova Scotia is trying to accomplish two different goals by doing one thing. One could say they want to feed two birds with one or more invasive fish. Juliana Grillo explains.
Perched high in their enclosure, bald eagles typically tend to avoid people. But these birds are working alongside these volunteers to protect Nova Scotian lakes, rivers, and ponds by chowing down on chain pickerel, an invasive species.
Yeah, I think they definitely enjoy eating that type of fish. I haven't seen them turn their nose up at much, but yeah, they do like the big fish for sure. They eat a lot. An immature eagle can eat like a pound a day and up to several pounds for a mature bird.
The center has come up with a solution that kills two birds with one stone, so to speak. They are asking local fishermen to donate any chain pickerel they catch. The predatory fish can harm local species like trout and salmon, so taking them out of the water is important. But it also saves the center some money on food costs. For local anglers looking to donate their catch, volunteers say there are some things to keep in mind.
If you're catching a lot of fish like an invasive species such as chain pickerel, we do ask that they're bagged in groups of about 8 to 10 pounds, so it's easy for our volunteers to move around.
Once the fish are dropped off, the center needs to screen the food very diligently. That includes x-raying each individual fish. That's because most of the bald eagles at the center are recovering from lead poisoning. Rock says the amount of chain pickerel being donated varies week to week, but deliveries are consistent, and that has made a real difference. It costs a lot to feed these massive hungry birds.
By the time we account for medical expenses, feed, etc., so it can be astronomical, and we really do, as a registered Canadian charity, rely on these donations to make sure that everybody has what they need.
Rock is encouraging both seasoned and new anglers to throw their bait into the water, and the birds will take care of the rest. Juliana Grillo, CBC News, Helden.
Ashley's back with a look at our long-range forecast now. Ashley, you mentioned some more fall-like weather on the way. What can you tell us?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's going to feel like, especially after this very summer-like feel that we've had. That's for sure. Once that front moves through, temperatures in behind that are going to be chilly. So that will be what our Friday looks like. In fact, even starting with some light snow potentially in Lab West, that will change over to some shower potential into the afternoon because temperatures are going to warm up, but we will firmly be in fall. Take a look at these daytime highs, single digits, 6 to 9 degrees for really across the province. A little bit of sunshine in play here and there, but overall it will be an unsettled day on Friday. And then as we head into Saturday, as well, looking at another front moving through. This is also going to be fairly chilly. Another round of potential wet snow for parts of Labrador. Showers out ahead of that, though, and those will work their way towards the northern peninsula, west coast as we get towards the early morning hours and afternoon hours, rather, for the island. But overall, again, looking at temperatures rebounding just a little bit, between 10 to 14 degrees across the island. Labrador still staying in the single digits, though, somewhere between 3 and 9 degrees. The long-range forecast showing a bit of a roller coaster. So after Saturday's 13-degree temperature, we'll drop back down to single digits again on Sunday, back up to 11 degrees on Monday with some sunshine, looking beautiful that day. Now for central Newfoundland, pretty much a carbon copy forecast as far as that roller coaster goes. Overnight lows flirting with the 0-degree mark, and we will see a fairly nice end to the weekend for western Newfoundland and then beginning of next week. But again, it'll be a little chilly. Now up across Labrador, you are looking at your temperature sitting in the single digits. A rebound, though, by the time we get into Monday, even potentially into the teens. That will be the story for western Labrador as well, with some sunshine in the forecast. Our weather photo today, a beautiful shot. I love this photo from Wild Cove in White Bay there, or overlooking White Bay. Take a look at that dramatic cloud cover. I love that. Sunsets just showing off. Thank you, Michelle. If you have any weather photos that you'd like to share with us, we love seeing them. Send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Gorgeous shot. Well, that is our show for this evening. The 2025 Leaders Debate is coming up next. You can watch or listen on your favorite CBC platform if you can't stay here with us. So, of course, we're on CBC TV, CBC Radio 1, our website. You can also stream it on YouTube, CBC Gem, or the CBCNL streaming channel. Good night.